So this guy's name is Frank, and Frank is about to make $250 million. Frank lives in Quebec, where he owns a small factory that makes brake pads. The business does well, but after years of running it, Frank is exhausted. He's tired of the daily grind, tired of managing people, tired of working non-stop just to make money. Eventually, he decides he's had enough. Frank sells the entire business, walks away with the cash, and starts thinking there has to be an easier way to get rich. That's when the idea hits him. Why not just make the money himself? Not in a figurative way, literally. Frank decides he's going to print money. He chooses the US dollar because it has a strong exchange rate and is accepted in countries all over the world. If he's going to counterfeit currency, that's the one that makes the most sense. From that moment on, Frank becomes obsessed. He spends the next year and a half studying everything about the US dollar. He researches the exact paper it's printed on, the ink, the security threads, the watermarks, and all the tiny details most people never notice. Eventually, Frank realizes the biggest challenge isn't the printing, it's the paper. You can't fake money on regular paper. It has to be a specific cotton blend that only a few manufacturers in the world can produce. Using a fake email address and a convincing story, Frank contacts paper mills across Europe. Most of them turn him down. Then finally, a paper mill in Germany agrees to supply the paper. They believe his story, and they don't ask too many questions. Once that paper is produced, it's enough to create the equivalent of $250 million. Frank sets up a secret print shop on the outskirts of town. He buys specialized printing equipment and advanced software, everything needed to make the bills look real. When the paper finally arrives, Frank gets to work. He prints non-stop, pushing himself to finish as quickly as possible. He knows the longer the operation lasts, the more dangerous it becomes. 5 months later, he's done. $250 million in counterfeit $20 bills. Frank never plans to spend the fake money himself. That would be far too risky. Instead, he decides to sell the bills to other criminals at 30% of their face value. For every $100 in fake cash, he gets $30 in real money. When it's all said and done, Frank stands to make around $80 million. Now all he needs are buyers. Frank starts carefully. He lines up 4 buyers outside the United States and begins moving the money slowly. $1 million at a time, the counterfeit cash starts flowing. Years pass and Frank keeps selling. By this point, he's already moved about $50 million worth of fake bills. But that still leaves $200 million unsold, so Frank decides it's time to expand. What he doesn't know is that this new group of buyers has already been infiltrated by an undercover agent. One day, Frank is driving to meet a middleman, carrying $100,000 in counterfeit cash. High above him, unseen, a police helicopter is tracking his movements, watching closely and waiting for him to lead them to someone higher up. Not long after that, Frank is staying at his girlfriend's house. Early one morning, around 5 a.m., there's a loud knock at the door. Frank opens it, still half asleep, and finds officers from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police standing there, along with agents from the UST, Secret Service. Frank is arrested on the spot. Police search the house and his car. Inside, they find a printing press and nearly $1 million in counterfeit cash. Frank is taken to jail to wait for his trial. At first, Frank isn't too worried. He's in Canada, and he assumes the punishment won't be that severe. But then he's told the U.S. wants to extradite him. If that happens, Frank could be facing up to 60 years in prison. Suddenly, everything feels very real. Frank's lawyer steps in with a bold strategy. He argues that when police were surveilling Frank from the helicopter, they never actually caught him on camera handing over the counterfeit money. Because of that, the lawyer claims the search warrant used to raid his girlfriend's house was unlawful. The court agrees. Frank's extradition to the United States is suspended, and 6 weeks later he's released from jail while Canadian authorities try to build a stronger case. Eventually, Frank's court date arrives. As he walks into the courtroom, he knows this could still end badly. Canadian prosecutors are determined to put him behind bars. That's when Frank makes his final move. He tells his lawyer there are still $200 million in counterfeit bills hidden somewhere, and the police never found them. Frank offers a deal. He'll show authorities exactly where the money is, as long as they agree to go easy on his sentence. For the government, this is a serious concern. $200 million in fake cash could cause massive damage if it ever entered circulation. After negotiations, an agreement is reached. Frank leads police straight to the counterfeit money. It's been sitting in the back of a box truck, parked in a hotel parking lot the entire time. Authorities seize all $200 million, ensuring none of it ever reaches the streets. And just like that, Frank is released. After running one of the largest counterfeiting operations in history and printing $250 million in fake U.S. currency, Frank spends a total of just 6 weeks in jail. Then he walks free. So, if the story shocked you, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more incredible true crime stories you won't believe are real.